So, when it comes to them, the villainous duo known as the Mauler twins were not actually twins at all. Rather, they were a progression of clones. The leapfrogging clone effect made it next to impossible to pinpoint who the original Mauler was, but it is known that they existed around the time Omni-Man first appeared on Earth. A lot of their actions seem to be based on their desire to conduct experiments and gain political power, and they do seem to be respectful creatures with a genuine love for science. Mark Grayson in his pajamas meets a Mauler during midnight. Mark Grayson wonders why the Mauler is stealing an arcade game box, which prompts Mark Grayson to attack the Mauler. The Mauler spots Mark and slaps him. Mark Grayson is knocked into a wall, and the Mauler questions why Mark is still awake in the middle of the night. Mark admits he is past his bedtime and charges at the Mauler. Suddenly, an explosion happens before their collision towards each other. The teen team arrives to shut down the conflict between Mark Grayson and the Mauler. Rexplode questions on who started the fight, and the Mauler answers by attacking the vehicle of the teen team. The Mauler attempts to punch Robot, but Mark is able to knock out the Mauler in one punch. Robot introduces the teen team to Mark Grayson, while Duplicate drags the Mauler to their vehicle and arrests him. After arresting the Mauler, Robot reveals to Atom Eve and Invincible that he left the Mauler back at the toy store. Robot plans to follow the Mauler with cameras and hope that the Mauler will lead them to a secret base. They may even find out why the Mauler had stolen a video game arcade box. Robot, Invincible, and Atom Eve follow the Mauler, and the Mauler reunites with his twin. The twin questions what happened to the Mauler, and the Mauler is unable to remember clearly last night. The other twin berates the Mauler that they are desperate for the processors. They do not wish to wait for their plans any longer until suddenly, Robot, Invincible, and Atom Eve arrive at the Mauler twins' base. Invincible, Atom Eve, and Robot are able to defeat both the Mauler twins in the battle and are able to prevent any major casualties. Later, after Omni-Man killed the original Guardians of the Globe members, the Mauler twins go to the funeral of the original Guardians of the Globes to pay their respects, as they considered the original Guardians of the Globe to be worthy adversaries. Invincible keeps a watch on the Mauler twins to ensure the two criminals don't do something sketchy. Suddenly, a supervillain attacks during the funeral of the Guardians of the Globe, and the Mauler twins note that it took more time for the superheroes to defeat a random supervillain than them. Meanwhile, Invincible talks to Savage Dragon, and they both believe that the Mauler twins are up to something. In the night, the Mauler twins go to Immortal's grave to dig up his body. Fortunately, the two teenagers who wanted to dig up Immortal's body have helped the Mauler twins save time on digging up the corpse. The Mauler twins argue with each other about who is the original while they are doing a surgery on the Immortal. The Mauler twins plan on resurrecting the Immortal, and at the same time they have put a collar on the Immortal's head, so they can mind control the Immortal. The Mauler twins seal up the connections of the collar to the Immortal in hopes of reviving him. A few moments later, the Immortal is successfully revived and immediately roars with rage. The Mauler twins had expected the Immortal to remain under their control with his collar, but the Immortal escaped the Mauler twins to fight Omni-Man. In the end, the Mauler twins are disappointed for failing to control Immortal with their collar. Later, the Mauler twins are bringing machines and are planning to use the machines they brought to find which of them is the original and not the clone. Suddenly, the Immortal appears in front of them and plans to stop the Mauler twins. The Mauler twins tell Immortal that the superhero should be thankful towards them, as they have brought Immortal back to life. However, the Immortal battles the Mauler twins and takes them to prison. The Mauler twins are bandaged and locked up in prison by the Immortal, but suddenly a portal opens up and Angstrom Levy appears in the portal to break out the Mauler twins. The Mauler twins are surprised at Angstrom Levy's arrival, but they follow him anyway because they do not want to be trapped in prison. The Mauler twins are surprised at the damaged terrain, so Angstrom Levy explains that the Mauler twins are in a different dimension. Angstrom Levy requires the help of the Mauler twins, but the Mauler twins demand Angstrom Levy to reward them. However, Angstrom Levy warns the Mauler twins that he could easily leave the both of them in the alternate dimension, so the Mauler twins agree to help Angstrom Levy. Angstrom Levy takes the Mauler twins back to their dimension, and they all go into Angstrom Levy's van so that they can go to Angstrom's lab. So the Maulers go to Angstrom Levy's lab and are surprised to find out that there are multiple different types of Angstrom Levys. He explains to the Mauler twins that these are alternate versions of himself from different dimensions, and he wants to gain knowledge of all dimensions from his alternate selves. The Mauler twins agree to help Angstrom Levy, but they require the right equipment and extra space. The Mauler twins continue to build their machine for Angstrom Levy, and Angstrom is thankful for their help. The twins say that they can complete the machine in 2 weeks for Angstrom Levy, so Angstrom Levy leaves the twins to continue their work. Meanwhile, Cecil Stedman and the Global Defense Agency are watching the Mauler twins as they wish to find out what the Mauler twins are doing. Cecil Stedman orders his employees to continue watching the Mauler twins to ensure they don't become a problem in the future. Soon, the Mauler twins announce to Angstrom Levy that they have completed the machine and hope that Angstrom brings his alternate selves by tomorrow, so that Angstrom Levy can gain all of their knowledge. Angstrom Levy thanks the Mauler twins for their hard work, and the Mauler twins are glad that they were able to learn a lot during their time with Angstrom, as the knowledge they gathered will be useful for their own goals. Meanwhile, the Global Defense Agency employee notices the lack of activity of the Mauler twins and tells Cecil Stedman about the information. Cecil orders his employee to watch the Mauler twins even more, to make sure they are not up to something. Later, Mark Grayson talks with Cecil in his earpiece, and Cecil states that he needs Mark Grayson's help. Mark Grayson suits up into his Invincible suit and flies out of his house. Meanwhile, Angstrom Levy thanks the Mauler twins for their hard work as he hooks himself up to the machine the Mauler twins had made. The Mauler twins are glad to have made the machine for Angstrom Levy, as it would change human history. Angstrom puts on his helmet for preparation, and the Mauler twins pull the switch to turn on the machine. Suddenly, Invincible burst through the walls right when the Mauler twins turned on the machine. Angstrom Levy orders the Mauler twins to stop Invincible, as he does not want Invincible to ruin his chance to gain knowledge. The Mauler twins attempt to fight Invincible but are easily thrown away by him. Angstrom Levy decides to open multiple portals, and multiple different versions of the Mauler twins appear to fight Invincible. And the Mauler twins are able to hurt Invincible to the point Invincible is unable to fight back properly. When the Maulers are about to kill Invincible, Angstrom Levy removes his helmet in an effort to save Invincible, but it causes an explosion. The explosion kills all the alternate Mauler twins, except the one that was thrown away from the blast by Invincible. The Mauler twin that survived the explosion used his clone as a shield to protect himself, but it caused the surviving Mauler twin to be scarred. The scarred Mauler searches around the rubble to find where Angstrom Levy is. But while Angstrom Levy had survived the explosion, his brain had been mutated upon removing his helmet. Angstrom Levy screams in disgust at what he has become, and the scarred Mauler feels sorry for Angstrom Levy. He asks the scarred Mauler who the attacker was, so the Mauler answers that it was Invincible. Angstrom Levy seeks to get revenge at Invincible, but the scarred Mauler warns Angstrom Levy of his mutated injuries. Angstrom Levy leaves the dimension to get help in another place where the technology is more advanced, but the scarred Mauler is angry at Angstrom Levy for leaving him behind. Later, the scarred Mauler clones himself, and the cloned Mauler declares himself as the original to the scarred Mauler. However, the scarred Mauler asks the cloned Mauler as to why his face is healed. This causes the cloned Mauler to finally realize that he is the clone, and the scarred Mauler is the original. The cloned Mauler notes that this is the first time where they are both aware of who is the clone, and the scarred Mauler is proud of the fact that he is the actual original Mauler. The scarred Mauler plans on declaring himself as King Mauler to show his cloned self that his scars are what make him the original Mauler. The scarred Mauler plans on cloning more of himself so that he can achieve his goals much quicker. The scarred Mauler finds it funny that both of them had never thought to make more than 2 clones at the same time, to which the cloned Mauler agrees. The scarred Mauler orders the cloned Mauler to make him some lemonade, so the cloned Mauler follows the orders of the scarred Mauler. The scarred Mauler questions why the lemonade tastes disgusting, but he soon starts to choke under the lemonade. The cloned Mauler explains that he poisoned his scarred self, as he is annoyed at the fact that his scarred self keeps gloating about how he is the original. The cloned Mauler regrets poisoning the scarred Mauler, as he feels as though by killing the scarred Mauler, he is to an extent killing himself. The cloned Mauler makes it clear to the dead scarred Mauler that they can only achieve their goals only if they are unaware of who the original Mauler is. The cloned Mauler decides to clone himself again to make another cloned Mauler. Both the cloned Mauler twins feel strange about the fact they are both aware that they are the clone and the scarred Mauler was the original. They both settle their disputes on the fact of which of them is the original clone, so that both of them may work hard to find out which of them is superior. Both the Mauler twins question how they can achieve their goals, as they both lack resources. Suddenly, Robot arrives, which shocks the Mauler twins, and Robot plans to support them if the Mauler twins works for him. Robot leads the Mauler twins into a secret location, which impresses the Mauler twins. Robot explains that he will reveal all the secrets to the Mauler twins shortly. The Mauler twins are both disgusted as they are looking at the deformed Rudolph Connors that is floating in a tube. Rudolph Connors reveals that he wants to be transported in a cloned body he is creating, but needs the help of the Mauler twins. Rudolph Connors allows the Mauler twins to choose their reward, so the Mauler twins agree to work with Rudolph Connors. Rudolph angrily orders the Mauler twins to follow his procedures of creating his cloned body in his own way, so that his design for his clone will be perfect. The Mauler twins explain that the cloning process will be seamless, as both of them are unable to tell which of them is the original clone. The Mauler twins explain to Rudolph Connors that the cloning process will duplicate his mind, which Rudolph Connors is already aware of. The Mauler twins are able to copy Rudolph Connors' mind into Rexplode's body, and the Mauler twins ask the cloned Rudolph Connors if he is satisfied with the results. Rudolph Connors admits that he is satisfied with the result, so one of the Mauler twins asks Rudolph Connors why he chose a young body instead of an adult one. But Rudolph Connors refuses to answer the Mauler's question. Rudolph Connors then walks up to his original body and kills his original version in mercy. The Mauler twins ask Rudolph Connors if he is going to reward them, but Rudolph Connors reveals that he plans to arrest them. The Mauler twins laugh at Rudolph Connors' threat until one of Rudolph Connors' robots arrives to fight them. The Mauler twins are easily able to crush the robot and gloat to Rudolph Connors for not being prepared to fight against them. Rudolph Connors then reveals another robot which is much more massive than the previous ones the Mauler twins had defeated. This causes the Mauler twins to get scared and panic from the threat they are facing. Later, it is revealed that the Mauler twins have been defeated by Rudolph Connors and his giant robot. Later, the Mauler twins in their brief appearance are shown escaping prison alongside the other supervillains with the destruction Doc Seismic had caused. Then, the Mauler twins break into a nuclear missile silo and are interested to hear about what the guards are talking about. The Mauler twins are announced at a TV news report which prompts Invincible to go after them to the nuclear missile silo. Back at the nuclear missile silo, the Mauler twins have succeeded in defeating the Guardians of the Globe with their powerful large guns. A person that is barely conscious tells the Mauler twins that they will soon be stopped by someone, and then Invincible arrives at the scene. Due to Invincible's black costume, the Mauler twins think that he is a new superhero, so one of the Mauler twins shoots Invincible with his gun. This causes Invincible to be buried under the rubble, and the Mauler who shot Invincible talks to the person if he still believes the heroes will save them. The person states that the nuclear missiles won't help the Mauler twins take over the world, and they will fail, just as the Lizard League had failed. This makes one of the Mauler twins angry at the statement that they could be compared to the Lizard League. The Mauler twins then reveal that they plan to use the missiles in the nuclear facility to cause a massive solar flare that will shut down multiple satellites on Earth. The Mauler twins plan on using the broken satellites to have the world be controlled, as they will be the ones to repair them, meaning that the world would be forced to rely on them. If the world decides to oppose them, then the Mauler twins can manipulate nations to go to war. Just then, Oliver suddenly arrives to fight the Mauler twins, but Invincible asks Oliver to run away, only to be attacked by one of the Mauler twins. Oliver then hits the Mauler twin that attacked Invincible, so the other Mauler twin prepares to shoot Oliver. Luckily, Invincible is able to destroy the Mauler's gun, but the Mauler decides to unleash the missile to cause a massive solar flare. Invincible goes after the missile, but wants his brother Oliver to leave the scene. However, Oliver instead attacks one of the Mauler twins and breaks his jaw. The Mauler with the broken jaw throws Oliver into a wall, but Oliver refuses to give up and kills the Mauler with the broken jaw in a brutal way. The other Mauler attempts to beg for mercy, but Oliver instead punches his brains out to kill him. In the meantime, Invincible is able to destroy the missile the Mauler twins had unleashed in space. So, after this, everyone thought that the Maulers are now dead and there is no way for them to come back. But in Firelaka Island, Aziz runs up to his master, who is a Mauler, to tell him about news about the Maulers' disrupted control in Hong Kong. However, the Mauler tells him to calm down as he might wake up the blue babies. Later, Best, Tiger, and Kaboomerang arrive at Firelaka Island and tell the women on the island to calm down. Kaboomerang wonders why the babies on the island are blue, until suddenly, a Mauler arrives at the scene. Kaboomerang recognizes the Mauler as a villain, but the Mauler admits that he is a family man and that the blue babies are his children. Kaboomerang finds the Mauler to be gross, but the Mauler makes it clear that he made the babies by procedure and not by procreating with the women. Kaboomerang gets tired of the Mauler, so he throws a boomerang at the Mauler, only to be shocked by the fact that the Mauler is a hologram. Best Tiger starts to hear some unexpected noise and asks Kaboomerang to prepare. Another Mauler that is deformed arrives by crushing the walls and attacks both Best Tiger and Kaboomerang. Soon, Kaboomerang calls his allies to bring help as one of the Mauler twins is still alive. Soon, reinforcements arrive to take down more of the Mauler twins' deformed clones and the Mauler himself. The Mauler berates the heroes for endangering his children as they will make the world a better place. Black Samson notes that the Mauler they are facing is very different from the ones that died in the nuclear missile silo. Japan Android and Ms. Popper go to the Mauler's lab and find out that the Mauler plans to unleash a genetic bomb that will rewrite the DNA of male humans and have them inherit his DNA so that they will create little blue babies for the Mauler. As the deformed cloned Mauler crushes Black Samson, Kaboomerang is able to blow up the head of the deformed cloned Mauler to kill it. The Mauler screams at the superheroes for ruining his plans as his children are dying due to their electric collars. The Mauler shoots Japan Android as the Mauler needs to deactivate the collars before his children are harmed during the battle. Japan Android asks the Mauler where the bombs are, but the Mauler admits that the bombs were already activated 4 months ago. The Mauler admits that he wants to start a family somewhere else, so he leaves the scene in an escape pod. Kaboomerang blows up the pod with his boomerang, but it turns out that the escape pod contained no body of the Mauler. In the aftermath of the battle, the superheroes deal with setting up a quarantine protocol for the infected blue babies and to take care of them. In the island, the superheroes were able to turn the Mauler's base into a hospital for victims and for the Mauler's children. They plan on using the hospital to protect the babies that have the Mauler's DNA. Both Outrun and Bulletproof hope that when the Mauler comes back, they will be able to defeat the supervillain. Ironically, the Mauler appears right in front of them, and it causes both of them to prepare to fight the Mauler. However, Donald Ferguson stops Bulletproof from attacking the Mauler, and Julian Waldeck introduces the Mauler as Mr. Mauler to both Outright and Bulletproof. It turns out that all of Mr. Mauler's subjects had signed a legal rights contract with Mr. Mauler to gain permission to impregnate them and to take care of their offspring. This means that Mr. Mauler had done nothing wrong in the end. Bulletproof takes a paper and lifts it in front of Mr. Mauler's face before punching him in the face and knocking him out. Later, after some time had passed, Invincible attacks Mr. Mauler, while at the same time Invincible is confused at the fact Mr. Mauler is alive, as Invincible had believed that the Mauler twins had died in the nuclear missile silo and did not expect Mr. Mauler to be alive. Mr. Mauler admits that he cloned himself. meaning that the Mauler twins that died in the nuclear missile silo were not actually him. Invincible punches Mr. Mauler to a bunch of cargo crates, and Mr. Mauler notes that Invincible had gotten stronger since their last encounter. However, Mr. Mauler believes that he can still beat Invincible, but unfortunately for Mr. Mauler, multiple superheroes have arrived at the scene to defeat him. Later, when Invincible gets betrayed by Robot and gets trapped in an alternate dimension, Invincible asks an alternate version of Robot if the Mauler twins are still alive in this dimension. Invincible goes to the Mauler but is attacked by the Mauler in pure frustration. The Mauler explains to Invincible that he had killed his brother, but Invincible has no idea what the Mauler is saying because Invincible does not belong in this dimension. The Mauler then tells Invincible that he is struggling to hide from the Viltrumite Empire and that Invincible ruined his life. The Mauler eventually listens to Invincible as the Mauler realizes that attacking Invincible would be foolish. The Mauler then helps Invincible create a clone body of himself for Robot, so that Rudolph Connors can take control of the Viltrumite Empire. Together, all of them work near each other, so that Invincible can go back home, while the Mauler creates a body of Invincible for Robot to control. A few weeks later, the Mauler trusts Invincible, as the Mauler initially wanted to kill Invincible at the start. That is until the Mauler learns that this is a different Invincible. The Mauler explains to Invincible that he initially wanted to rule the world because he believed the world leaders of Earth to be incompetent, and that the Mauler would have been a better fit to rule the Earth. But now the Mauler just wanted to restore the order of the world. Invincible admits that he is proud of the goals of the Mauler, and the Mauler continues to work on creating a body for Robot while Invincible and Rudy talk about their lives. Eventually, the Mauler prepares Rudy to be cloned in the body of Invincible by turning on the switch. The Mauler tells Invincible that it will take a few minutes for Rudy's mind to be copied in the body until suddenly the Viltrumites show up at their secret location. Invincible suggests to the Mauler that he can potentially stall the Viltrumites, but the Mauler explains that they cannot be stopped because the Viltrumites have brought the monster. After Robot is successfully cloned in Invincible's body, the Mauler tells Invincible to escape by using the portal that Rudy had finished building, and Invincible gives his final advice to the newly cloned Rudy before leaving through the portal. The Mauler says his goodbyes to Invincible by saying that Invincible shouldn't worry about them, and it is unknown what happened to both the alternate cloned Robot and the Mauler. So, coming back to the mainstream dimension, Robot, who is now ruling Earth, mentions to Invincible that he caught Mr. Mauler alongside many other supervillains. After some time of being under arrest by Robot, the Mauler decides to help Robot during various rescue missions, and it turns out that Mr. Mauler had cloned himself off-screen while helping the heroes rebuild the world. Then, after Marky's rampage, Invincible attempts to fight the Mauler twins as Invincible believes them to be causing chaos. However, the Mauler twins plan on using their drones to scan for any survivors that were buried under the rubble of the destruction. The Mauler twins admit to Invincible that they have no intention of continuing their life as criminals and wish to atone for their misdeeds by helping the world, and now they have everything they need for their research, so they don't need to be on the other side of the law. So this was the last time we saw the Maulers, and now that they are alive, it is possible that we may see them in some other comics coming from the same comic book universe.